Well, good everybody. It's the 21st of August. Unbelievable. We'll be at the end of August before we know it. And soon it'll be March in the National Sailing Academy in Antigua. Fingers crossed, touch wood. And we'll be there. I'm just waiting for a few people to pop up. It was an interesting thing. If you look at those pictures I just shot up there at the beginning, that was another Swiss entry in the very first Transat in 2021. And of course, Renault is out there leading the fleet as a Swiss entry. And the first two entries that we've received, we're getting entries now coming in for MGR and Transat and so on, for 26 Transat and the MGR. So if you're thinking about it, don't waste your time. Don't hang around. Anyway, but the first two entries were both Swiss entries. And of course, the winner of the first Transat was Etienne, another Swiss entry. So I don't know what it is. Maybe it's all the chocolate. Maybe something is about eating all the Swiss chocolate, and all of a sudden, Swiss have decided they really want to be in on the 580. But it's kind of funny, eh? First, we only had six boats to start up in the Transat in 21, and two of them were Swiss. Now the first two entries for the Transat in 26 are both Swiss, and currently we've got a Swiss entry, Renault leading the fleet on the MGR. So that's kind of obscure scenario, but there you go. That's how it works. And we've now got the system back up again. Hopefully it doesn't fail, and hopefully everything will work this morning with Be Live. And yesterday was a very interesting day. I'll talk about little things that are going on in the background. And I made an incredible discovery this morning. I'm really happy. I didn't even tell Jane. She'll hear about it first when we start talking about it. So anyway, loud and clear. Thanks you, Rathlin. The Swiss tend to excel at whatever they put their minds to. Compliment to them. I suppose that's right. I remember the worst part about Switzerland is the duty you pay everywhere in Europe with the EU, because technically, if I remember right, they're not part of the EU, but they aren't. But they're in Europe and blah blah blah. Going across the borders, everything's got to pay duty, like serious duty, and the wages there are huge. So no wonder, yeah, it's like it's different social economies and everything in the various countries in Europe. But there you go, interesting. And they really believe in first aid kits as well. Everyone in Switzerland has a first aid kit. Yep, certainly. Anyway, enough of that. Straight to the tracker. We've got a few people there now, so interesting things happening. You're on the tracker, and now I'm going to move on to the tracker. So I'm on it as well. And there we go. Are the times up current? 12? No, it should be 1600. So not there. I'm going to have to reboot. I start off with this screen so that we've got something interesting at the start of the tracker, so everyone identifies with the fact that we're about to do the tracker. That's what that post is, because sometimes there's a lot of posts, as you know. Here it comes. Oh, it was already there. I pressed the wrong button. Here we go. Rightio. We're into the groove, and I've got no idea why Kerry's hanging out the top up there, but that's where he wanted to go. Putting the weather in, waiting for that to come. There'll be more people joining, so that's fine. We're not in a rush. Ooh, look at that. First thing that hits me is this big wind shadow that John Guswell on Tracker talks about. Left Thursday Island, come along, and then have to push through this. It's exactly what happened with us on Bounty Boat. We go roaring along here, get knocked down, and then you got the calms and then huge currents. We went into Kapang up here on the end. Exactly the same beach that we landed on, that Bly and his men landed on as well. So nice sailing at the moment. You've got this trade wind, effectively like a trade wind, coming through on these latitudes and pushing them along quite fast. So that's pretty impressive. And they'll all racing to get to Cocos as quick as they can. Making good time. Gary's not in the race anymore, but still sailing fast. 4.6 knots, 114-mile day. That's pretty cool. Ayrton following up the rear of the real racers, 5 knots and minus 11,676 nautical miles. So he went backwards a lot last night, but that's understandable because he's not trying to keep up with the leaders. So I'm not sure what that means. Let's see what the others are doing. Christian.
He's a tracker.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, okay. Uh, so we mentioned before, Ayrton had some problems with one of the YB3s, and then Gary has given him one of his two. So Gary's sailing with one at the moment for the last leg, which is fine. And overnight, we transitioned from his previous unit that was being used for tracking
Is that update?
into
Is it the
yeah,
time is right?
yeah. Excuse me, I'm speaking. um, so we rolled him over last night onto a new one. Yes, the time is correct, and that's caused a big deficit on his daily run. So don't worry about it; it'll sort itself out on the next one. Christian, 116 mile day, 4.7, and there's some interesting things here. 4.8, 125 mile day for Eric. Jasmine, 5.1, 124 mile day. They've all got the miles for the 24 hours. I'm surprised at the speeds. Maybe there's currents there pushing them around as well. This is giving me the impression they should just be roaring along. But the speed at the moment is up and down, but the daily run is good. 4.7, Christian should be doing 5.5. Jazz is hanging in there. She's doing really well, which is pretty cool. Jacob had some severe frustrations. He sent messages, which I'll read to you in a minute. The current one on here, he ended up getting a whole pile of fishing line and bits and pieces. And no, it was weed caught around the rudder. And he said, no wonder bloody Adam got away from me. He didn't realise it was there. He was wondering what was going on. So Jacob's been doing 5.4 knots and 411, and he's told the story about how he nearly had to go swimming with crocodiles. So I've got a little video on that in a minute at the end. Adam, 6.1, 120. So speeds are interesting, like 6.1 there, Jacob 5.4. Yeah, they're not too bad. A little bit similar, but we'll look at the currents in a minute. Peeler, looks like she's closed up a bit there. 6.7. 135 mile day, and I've got to say the wind gradient here looks all consistent, so she's just sailing a lot faster than the guys at the back, which is why she's up the front. Dan, 6.4, 106 mile day, so she did catch up. You can always get a visual impression, obviously, and look at that. So cheaper, she's catching up to the bunch. So Dan, stop having a holiday, pull your finger out. 106 miles is not good enough. Nikki will be breathing down your neck soon, so be careful. Kerry is doing 6.3, 89 mile day. Huh? That's strange. Anyway, is the time right? Yep, time's right. 24 hours. So Dan, everyone's taken time out of Kerry. So maybe something happened during the track. Looks pretty straight, so that's cool. Renault, 6.1, 106 mile day. They've slowed down. That means they've slowed down right now because 6.1 is pretty healthy. Kerry's on 6.3, which is pretty healthy. They're on the ground. They might have bumped into a current, but anyway, we'll come back and have a look at that right now. There's something playing with their 24-hour runs. So now we come down here. We go with currents. Let's see. Oh, we won't be able to tell really because it varies every 6 to 12 hours. These guys are getting a boost. They're getting a boost at the back end. Peeler is showing there as not being anything in particular, but she's got some negative current there. You can see Renault's got, that's only about a third of a knot. It still adds up over 24 hours. I'm not sure what's happening with Kerry, but I'll just move this slightly and show you the difference every 3 hours. Yeah, it still looks, maybe that's why Kerry went up there to get that current, because you look at where Renault is, he'll see this and say, oh, what's going on? Renault's going to have head current pretty much all the way now. For the next 12, 18, 24 hours, he's going to be in this lot. And maybe Kerry's decided to come up here and try and hook into this one if it sits there consistently. The others, yeah, there is an absolute, look at that. Maybe that's what he's after. Because the wind across there was pretty consistent. Renault's going to go right through the middle of this calm or slight headwinds. So he's not going to get a kick. That's okay. What's the distance of that? Kerry is probably going to target this current. You can see the difference here, and the total distance that he might be in it for is nearly 2 days. There's nearly 2 days there. So if that's running at, I won't say 1 knot, but let's say I'll just keep pushing through and see. I can't do it with that one. So it's 200 miles. Hit that, and This is when he's up there. Just as he's up there, it's dying off. That's about when he's going to be in it, and it dropped down a bit. So uh, it'll give him a little bit. Might give him 20 miles, which could be enough. But he's sailing more distance. So, but obviously that's why he wants to be up there with the current. It's okay. So I take it back. Now I know why he's there. He's after that current, but it's not acting too strong in the next few days. It was strong just before he gets there by the look of it. Because if we come back here again, I'll just walk you through it. Average. There it's strong. Oh, that's okay. He'll ride that for a bit. I reckon that might give him 20, 30 miles. So let's see what happens if we remember back. If we remember that in 2 or 3 days, we can say, "Oh, Kerry's picked up, and he might just rocket down in front of Renault by the time he gets here, and be in front." Who knows? So anyway, that's the current. Sea state, I don't think there's going to be any issues there. Yeah, you just don't get it. They're all talking about the short, choppy, steep seas. Very confused, uncomfortable, which is we spoke about yesterday, which is normal for that part of the world. So that's okay. Clouds, what do they got? Okay, Kerry's got, and Dan and Peeler coming out of clouds maybe. Renault's okay. Is that something going through? Yeah, there's a bit of rain there. That light blue is rain. So temperature shouldn't be. Oh boy. Okay, so that temperature is pushing upwards of mid-20s. Hang on, here we go. So mid-20s, not too bad, quite pleasant. Okay, so the wind. We'll just come back to the wind for a 2-day push on that. Let's see if they've got. Oh, I've got so many pop-up screens coming out here. The next couple of days, what's going to happen? So that's on real time now, every 3 hours. That whole band there is okay. Oh, all of a sudden, I realised I'm starting to see what Kerry's up to, because I forgot, you put it all together. There's not a lot of wind up there, so the current becomes even more valuable, right? Because when you're drifting, if one boat's got no current and another boat's got 1 knot, that boat's going to make 24 hours in the day just by the current. So that's interesting. I think that's what he's up to. And anyway, we'll see. Renault will be watching this and now got the word and thinking, okay, won't work. Maybe it will. Who knows? So, sorry, I digress. Yeah, having a conversation with myself. So there's the wind for the first day. It's all pretty good. And then the second day, it's starting to get a little bit light from the back as well, coming up. Yeah, it's softening off a bit. So it runs in the second day, will probably more like 100 miles rather than 120. And then there's this big band. So that's what they're going to have to push through. And that is around about 2 days away. So for Renault, he's down lower. You can see here, if Renault keeps going straight, it's 165 miles, a day and a half. So it's about when it comes in. And if Kerry, he's got 165 miles of breeze, but Kerry's going to hold that breeze possibly even a little bit longer as well. There's 3 days if he runs along the top. So I'll get rid of that and push the weather again a little bit. That's day 3. So you can see Kerry may hold the breeze along the top more so than down the bottom. So you might see it's a bit hard to pick here, but let's just keep pushing it through. All up until that point, there was more breeze up the top along the edge of East Timor. And then it's gone again. So it's going to be interesting to see who gets through this first, because if we scan this back, you can see the breeze picks up again on the other side. Once you get over here, once you get past the edge of Timor and come along Indonesia, the breeze starts to kick in again. Anyway, I think that's all we need to show you there. That's pretty much it. So I'm coming back here. And I'm going to say hello there, and then I'm just going to show you a couple of things. What I was talking about before we get into just questions before I go, I'm going to put this back up here. That was the jeepers, I've forgotten his name again. The Swiss Century. That's now Peeler's boat. Severin, yeah, nice guy. Anyway, that was Severin's boat, Swiss entry. That's what that was all about. But as I was looking forward, I like to put these pictures up. As I was looking for some pictures to put up and talk about something, I stumbled across what's the guy who helped us. Uh, Patrick boat. Gee, because I'm in a bad morning. This is Patrick's paint job. We spoke about the yellow boat that someone saw the other day. That's Patrick's boat. He wanted to do the Transat and the MGR, but he had some unfortunate situation with the house burning down and all sorts of things. And there's no way he could do it. So he hopefully he's still hanging on to the boat. Might turn up in 29. You never know. Anyway, I grabbed that, and then I stumbled across something. I was looking for some Tracker shots, right? Just not Tracker, my bounty boat shots to show people bounty boat, and I stumbled across these photographs. Now, about a week ago, I was trying to find these photographs because this is GGR. I think everyone will know what that is. That's Joshua, and that's Bernard Matessia sitting in this boat, right? Very few people have seen these photos, right? Long story. These are basically unpublished photos of Joshua and Bernard Matessia, who was in the first Golden Globe race. There's another one here. This is the other one. Now, you won't believe what that is. If you know the story, right, and these pictures have hardly been seen by anyone. I was meant to publish them a long time ago, and I found them. So now I can publish them in a story, a really interesting story. If you know the story of Joshua, he would make stops and get messages out. He didn't have a radio. He'd put messages in his film canister, a 35mm film camera, put him in his slingshot, and shoot the messages up onto the deck of the boat. And after he'd sailed solo around the world, around Cape Horn, and he was lagging behind Hugh Haley, he decided not to go back to England. Right? I'm in goosebumps telling this story. And so he sailed on to Cape Town, and he put a message in a can and slingshot it onto the deck of a ship, right? And continued on to Tahiti. These are the photographs that were taken by the guy on the ship that he sent the message, the famous message saying, "Oh, bugger that! I'm not going up there. I don't want the money. Don't want the glory. I'm sailing on to Tahiti." These are two photographs that one of the officers took of Joshua and Thing. No one's seen these shots. I've never seen them. I know the story really well. And the guy gave them to me a year or so ago. I was really excited. And then I lost them in my files, and I just stumbled across them. So Jane's rolling her eyes at the moment. So I'm really excited about that. So there you go. You got a bit of a first there, but these are virtually unseen photographs of Joshua. That's him with the slingshot, right, firing the canister up onto the deck of the ship. It's unbelievable. So I'm really excited about finding that. Anyway, that's another little story. And this was the other one. This is actually Simon Kerwin from the GGR, but he's sitting in the Plastimo life rafts. Right, and these are effectively the life rafts that all of the 580 skippers have got. Touch wood, hope they never use them, from Plastimo. This GGR one is a special version, Southern Ocean stuff. It's effectively a 4-man life raft that we modified in little ways to make it as close as we could get to a Solus life raft, which is a lot more sophisticated. And we put in the rafts PLB and a VHF handheld that's got a GPS in it as well. So there's communications and alerting gear inside the life raft, which other events don't do. And then, of course, there was the big incident with PRB in the Vendée that broke in half, and Kevin Scoffier, the skipper, jumped into his life raft, and he had nothing because there wasn't anything in life raft. So now the Vendée have copied what we do, and they do the same thing. They put communications and a PLB tracker and AIS beacon and stuff in the raft. So that's just a look at what all the 580 skippers have got. They've got it in a valise pack, like a bag, and it doesn't have the whole 4-man's rations. It has less water and less food because that saves the weight and makes a smaller package so that they can get it out through hatches, and it's lighter and all that sort of stuff. So then you have your panic bag. So you've got to get your panic bag and go from there. Anyway, that was Matessia. That's out of the book on Joshua. Matessia, a bit of a hero in many ways, a great part of the story. Anyway, I think that's it. Yeah, that's it. Okay, enough of that. A bit of a side story. Now, just to get you up to speed on the story from Jacob, he sent us a video. I don't know whether we're going to be able to see it. I'm going to hold it. But basically this is what he said. Just before the start in Thursday Island, I've discovered a big bunch of weed and nylon fishing line tangled around my keel, and it may have been there for a long time. He doesn't know. And he just checked before he left. So it took me 2 hours to get it off, and lucky I didn't have to get in the water with the crocodile. So I'm going to try and show you this. It's running. Oh, this is you just putting the camera over the side. That's underwater. Oh, you can see the big lump of weed there. On a big lump of weed and bits. Anyway, that was it. So then it took him 2 hours to get that off. Then the next thing he was saying is also on the 20th of August, I got bloody seaweed on my rudder. Okay, so that was yesterday. Got on his rudder. No wonder I was slower than Adam. So he's got another video there. I haven't seen this one. I'll just show you. I don't know what's on it. But he's sailing. I haven't seen this video. What's he doing? He's clipping on. Here he comes. I'm going to try and get it off. Oops. Okay, it looks like a bit of kelp. Yeah, getting it off. This is pretty basic technology, I know, but I didn't have this came in on Jane's camera, on Jane's phone. So he's scooping it off. Got it. Yeah. There you go. Oh, that would have slowed him down 3 knots. No problem. So that's cool. And then on my phone, I got a picture from Ayrton, a message. I'll also give you Eric's update because they are so good. They send me messages every day. They're one of the really good ones. So Ayrton sent a video. Have a look at this. Why can I go? And it's like this brown sludge. He thought it was pollution. He sent me a message. He said, "Oh, I got all this stuff. I'm not sure. It's polluted water." You see that brown on there? That's actually like coral polyps coming off the reefs. It has a really sour smell when you're sailing through it. He didn't know what it was because he hadn't sailed in the reef waters, but you get a lot of it sometimes, and it sticks together. It's all coming off the reef, off the coral reef somewhere. So that's what that is. It wasn't pollution. He thought it might have been pollution. I'll get a bit organised next time and put these. I can actually screen the video on the stuff if I'm organised. But I've been working since 7 o'clock this morning, doing emails and stuff. I'm looking for Brenda. Here we go. Update from Sunbear into day 1. Australia, the Cocos Keeling. We sailed out of Thursday Island around 11 a.m. yesterday. Current and wind in our favour, doing 8.5 knots down the channel. 120 miles for the 24 hours, all well on Sunbear, close to other boats in the morning. So he's having a good time. He sent all pictures and bits and pieces. Anyway, enough of that. We sent an entrant update out to, not an entrant update, a bloody builder's update. I think I mentioned it yesterday, but Renault immediately put a post up and says, "Hey, pick me. My boat's for sale." So officially... Capuchinet is for sale, but not now. He might hand it to you in Cape Town, but I doubt it. So it's at the end of the race. And there'll be a few that are up for sale. And basically, I was talking to John the other day, and he's said ultimately his boat will be up for sale. So it'll be interesting. There'll be a few of the boats when the MGR is over, touch wood, where the boats will be up for sale, and some will never be for sale because they just want to hang on to them. But anyway, that's it. So I'm going to quickly run through anyone that's here. Rathlin, thanks for that. Builder John, g'day. Coming loud and clear from Drummoyne. Oh boy, that's where all the 18-foot skiffs, the traditional historic ones are. Journey a Shark. We need a small trailable boat since we're not connected to the ocean. So yeah, get one.
They're talking about Switzerland. That's why.
Switzerland. Yeah, of course. Yeah. We got a Swiss entry in the GGR as well in the Golden Globe race, and he's in there's a big boat show. If you're following the Golden Globe, get on there. I shared his post. But
it's Sweden.
Sweden. Cheapest. René will be laughing if he does that. He's Sweden, not Swiss. Okay. No, I won't say anything. Yes, you need a little boat, but they've got lakes. They've got good lakes. Hello. I hope everyone is okay. Best regards for the sailors from Portugal and Algarve. Yeah, cool. morning, strong Dan Turk. Good, strong Mr. Dan Turk. Hug from Portugal and Algarve, Portimao. Dan went in there on the way down. Captain Coconut retired. Hope all okay. Yep, all is okay there. He's having a cruise at the moment. Sienna, is a stopover in Darwin not mandatory? No, that no one's going to Darwin. They had the option. They could have gone to Darwin or Thursday Island, but everyone chose Thursday Island. So they're rolling through to Cocos now. And is a stopover in Darwin? No. Morning, Sienna, Rathlin. Sienna, no. In this current race, it's an option. Oh, right. Could also have stopover Thursday Island time. That's it. And did you not show that picture of Matesio on deck during the GGR? Sure, I've seen that before. I did, and I said I'd come. That's exactly what happened. I was doing a GGR update like this, right? And was it OGR? No, it was OGR. I got that. Anyway, I did flash it on before, and then I lost the photos in my system. I got thousands of photos, and I just stumbled across them by chance this morning when I was looking for pictures to come up. So I'm excited because I can now go back and tell the story, because I told the story verbally previously, but I want to write it up because I've got a letter from the guy as well. I've got to find that letter now. Anyway, I'm very excited to find that. So okay, so we're going through it. The speed stick, yep. Garth, got the plans, looking for a building site, planning on 2029. That's cool. I got a really interesting message today from a guy in Ukraine who is desperate to do the GGR. He's still serving in the army at the moment, and he's hoping to be there for 29 for the MGR, not the GGR, the mini globe race. He follows everything and sent me a very nice message, and I wished him well. How long? I can't see what that is. So how long is it likely to take to get to the next destination? Well, it was 2,700 miles. So you can say there's 27 days, 100 miles a day. So the slow ones are going to be 27 days from Thursday, and the fast ones are going to be about 21 or 22 days from there. So 3 weeks, and they're coming up to where you can see so it's about a three to 4 week voyage, depending on whether you're Renault or Ayrton. Okay, that's it. Thank you very much, everybody. Glad to see it's all happening smoothly, and we'll see you tomorrow. Boom, boom. Thanks.